Welcome back friends to Physics in 20 minutes. In today's video we are going to learn about vectors in 2D Cartesian system, a vector's magnitude and direction from its components, adding vectors using their components, and unit vectors along x and y axis, and representing a vector with its component. You might need to see the video number 7 and 8 in order to understand the concepts in this video. So what are Cartesian coordinate systems? Cartesian coordinate systems are set of x and y axes which are placed perpendicular to each other. Such two axes placed perpendicular to each other map all the points in a plane. Therefore, in this way, they form two-dimensional Cartesian coordinate system. It has four quadrants. In the first quadrant, both x and y values are positive, so it's a plus quadrant. In second quadrant, x values are negative but y values are positive. In third quadrant, both are negative, and in fourth quadrant, x is positive and y is negative. In three dimensions, the Cartesian coordinate system has one more axis, that is z-axis, and it maps a three-dimensional space. We will look into it a little later. So let's see how to represent a vector in 2D Cartesian coordinate system. Consider a vector A. The magnitude of vector A is simply written as A. Now we place our Cartesian coordinate systems x and y. Here it must be noted that the position of the origin and the directions of x and y axis can be chosen by the observer at wish. As long as x and y axis are perpendicular to each other, it would be a correct choice. Let vector A make an angle theta with x axis. I can drop two perpendicular from two ends of the vector A on the x axis. The line segment between these two perpendiculars would be called as AX or x component of vector A. In a very similar way, we can drop two perpendiculars from two ends of vector A on y-axis. The line segment between these two perpendiculars would be called as AY or y component of vector A. As we said, the choice of origin is arbitrary. We can simplify the diagram by placing the vector A at the origin. In this case, the tip of the vector A will have coordinates AX, AY. Let's see how to represent A in terms of AX and AY. So, side opposite to theta will be AY. Therefore, sin theta can be written as side opposite upon hypotenuse. Therefore, it will be AY upon A. After solving, you get AY as A sin theta. Cos theta can be written as side adjacent upon hypotenuse. Side adjacent to theta is AX. Therefore, it can be written as cos theta as AX upon A. That gives AX as A cos theta. In this diagram, the vector lies in the first quadrant and its both components AX and AY are positive. The theta value will be anywhere between 0 and 90 degree. Like in this diagram, when the vector goes in the second quadrant, AY remains positive but AX becomes negative. In third quadrant, AX and AY both become negative. In fourth quadrant, AX remains positive but AY becomes negative. Let's take an example to understand these concepts. The magnitude of vector A is 4 meter. The angle theta is 40 degree. Find the components of A. The diagram is given to us. At this point, you may pause the video, try to solve the problem on your own, and then come back and check the solution. Here goes the solution. The theory that we have just developed, we need the angle theta between the positive x-axis and vector A in an anti-clockwise sense. Now this angle here is alpha. You can see that it is not known to us. What is known to us is theta, which is 40 degrees. How do we get alpha? So you can see that the angle between x and y axis are 90 degree. You can subtract theta from 90 and that will give you the value of alpha. Once you know alpha, that is the angle between the positive x-axis and the vector in the anti-clockwise sense, you can use this angle to calculate the components. You may drop a perpendicular from the tip of vector A to x-axis. That will give you the x component, calling it ax. So ax will be a cos alpha, which will turn out to be 3.1 meter. Similarly, from the tip of vector A, I can draw a perpendicular to y-axis, and the y component can be written as ay. Ay is a sine alpha, which is 4 sine 40, which after solving will give you 2.6 meter. Do check the significant figures in the solution. Let's take another example to understand these concepts. Magnitude of vector A is 4.5 meter. The angle alpha is 53 degrees. Find the components of A. The diagram is given to us. Now you can see in this diagram the alpha is given from the y-axis. Also you will notice that x and y axis are not drawn in the usual sense like horizontal and vertical, but they are tilted. I have already mentioned it earlier that orientations of x and y axis can be in any direction as long as they are perpendicular to each other. We need the angle between vector A and x axis. That can be obtained by subtracting 53 degrees from 90. So let that angle be theta, and it will be 37 degrees. You will see in the diagram that this angle theta is now in a counterclockwise sense from the x-axis. So this angle will be considered as negative. Now when you solve the problem, you get ax is equal to a cos theta, which is equal to 4.50 meter cos minus 37.0 degrees. When you solve it, ax will be 3.59 meters, while if you solve for ay, it will be minus 2.71 meter. Again, do check the significant figures in the solution. Now let's see, if the components are given, then how do you get the magnitude and direction of a vector? Let's take our x and y axis. Let ax be the x component of A. Let ay be the y component of A. I can complete the parallelogram. The side opposite to ay will be ay. I can draw the diagonal vector. Its magnitude is A, and its angle with positive x-axis in an anti-clockwise sense is theta. If you look at the diagram carefully, ax, ay and A form a right angle triangle. So by using Pythagoras theorem, we can write A is equal to root of ax square plus ay square, and tan theta can be written as side opposite upon side adjacent. Side opposite to theta is ay, side adjacent to theta is ax, so it can be written as ay upon ax. Therefore theta is tan inverse ay by ax. Sometimes it is also written as arctan ay by ax. Do remember that any two angles that differ by 180 degree have the same tangent. So sometimes it can be difficult to find the exact direction. So always draw the diagram in such cases to get the direction of A. We will check this while solving the problems. How do you add vectors using their components? So let's have two vectors A and B, and I want to add them by using their components. So I'll first place the two vectors in a triangle law situation. Here are my x and y axis. Let me translate my vector A to origin. So this is my vector A. The tail of vector A is kept at the origin. If I draw two perpendiculars from the head of vector A to x and y axis, I will get the two components of vector A, that is ax and ay, along x axis and y axis respectively. Now translate vector B at the head of vector A and drop the perpendiculars from the head of B to x-axis and y-axis to obtain the x component and y component of vector B. Now you can see vector A and vector B form the two sides of a triangle. So from triangle law we know that the third side drawn from the tail of vector A to the head of vector B will give me the resultant vector. So my R vector is drawn in yellow in this way. Therefore, vector R can be written as vector A plus vector B. Now, what are the components of vector R? You will see that x component of vector R will be same as sum of x component of vector A and x component of vector B. Therefore, Rx can be written as Ax plus Bx. In a very similar way, y component of vector R can be written as Ay plus By. Therefore, magnitude of vector R can be written as root of Rx square plus Ry square. If theta is the angle between R and x axis, then theta can be written as tan inverse Ry upon Rx. You can see that in this case we have obtained the magnitude of R and direction of R by knowing the x and y components of A and B vectors. Let's take another exercise to understand these concepts. A car drove 5 km to the east of north by 30 degrees. Then it takes a left turn by 90 degrees and drove for 4 km. Then it takes another left turn by 60 degrees and drove for 6 km. Find the direction and magnitude of its net displacement from the starting point. So at this point you can take a pause and try to solve the problem on your own, then come back and check the solution. Here goes the solution. The diagram for the situation is this way. Let's place our x and y axis. Then the first displacement is 5 km to the east of north by 30 degree. Let this displacement be represented by vector A. If y is considered as north, then the angle between y and A will be 30 degree. Obviously, angle between x and A in an anti-clockwise sense will be 60 degrees. Then it takes a left turn by 90 degree and drove for 4 km. Let this be represented by vector B. The vector B will make an angle of 60 plus 90, that is 150 degree with respect to the positive x-axis, and its magnitude will be 4 km. Then it takes another left turn by 60 degree and drove for 6 km. So let this be represented by vector C. So we are going to solve this by using component method. We have to find the x and y component of each of these three vectors and then add them to find the x and y component of the resultant vector. So for this we form a table. The first column is displacement. Let it be represented by P. The second, it's the angle of the displacement from the positive x-axis in the anti-clockwise sense. Then third column is x component of displacement, which is P cos theta. And fourth column is y component of displacement, which is P sin theta. So my first displacement vector is A, 5 km, and its angle from the x-axis is 60. So I calculate A cos 60, which is 2.50 km. Then I calculate A sin 60, which is 4.33 km. Then my second displacement is B, which is 4 km, making an angle of 150 degree from the positive x-axis. So my B cos 150 is minus 3.46. B sin 150 is 2.00 km. Similarly, I can find the components of C. Now since the components of all the three vectors are known, I can add all these components to get the x and y component of the resultant vector, that is Rx and Ry. Therefore, vector R is given as root of Rx square plus Ry square. I can place the values of Rx and Ry and I will get it as 7 km. Write theta by using the formula tan inverse Ry by Rx. Therefore, theta is tan inverse 3.33 upon minus 6.16. Therefore, theta turns out to be minus 28.4 degrees. Now you can see that there is a bit of a problem here. If theta is negative, then it has to be considered in clockwise sense. Then if it's minus 28, then it must lie somewhere in the fourth quadrant. But you can see that from the solution, your resultant vector would lie somewhere in the second quadrant. So as we had mentioned, you have to be careful with the tan inverse, because tan inverse of two angles differing by 180 degree is same. Here you have to add 180 degree to the theta value to get the real answer. If you add 180 to minus 28.4 degrees, you will get 151.6 degrees. Therefore, your vector r will be drawn from the tail of vector A to the head of vector C. You can see that this vector lies in the third quadrant. It makes an angle of 151.6 degrees with the positive side of x-axis in an anti-clockwise sense. Now let's talk about unit vectors once again. If a vector A is divided by its magnitude, then the vector that you obtain is called a unit vector. Its magnitude is 1 unit, and we have seen that it is represented by a hat, A hat in this case. To get the original vector, we can always multiply the unit vector by its magnitude. So that gives a hint how to multiply a vector by a constant. Let's take a unit vector. It has a given direction and it has a magnitude of 1 unit. If I multiply by a constant k, then I get another vector which is k times the unit vector, ka cap. So let's define unit vectors along x and y axis. So our two axes are in place, x and y. Let us have a unit vector pointing towards the positive side of x-axis. This unit vector would be called as I cap. Whenever I write I cap, it gives me the direction of positive x-axis. What will give me the direction of negative x-axis? It will be minus I cap. Similarly, I can define a vector j cap which can give me the direction of positive y-axis. In order to get the direction of negative y-axis, I may write it as minus j cap. So I cap and j cap are the two unit vectors which gives me the directions of positive x-axis and positive y-axis. Their magnitude is 1 unit. So let us try to represent a vector with its component using the unit vectors. Let's take x and y axis. Let's take the two unit vectors I cap and j cap pointing along x axis and y axis. Let a point in the plane be ax, ay. From the point, you drop a perpendicular to x axis. The intersection is ax. Now if I draw a vector from the origin to the point ax, then this vector can be written as ax I cap. Remember, ax simply is a scalar. When you multiply with a unit vector, then the product gets the direction. In this case, it will get the direction of I cap, which is pointing towards positive x axis. I can write it as vector ax and is equal to ax I cap. In a very similar way, from the point I drop a perpendicular to y axis. The intersection point is ay. Therefore, I can draw a vector from the origin to the point ay. This vector can be written as a product of ay into j cap. Once again, remember, ay is a scalar. It obtains direction only after it is multiplied to a unit vector, j cap. In this case, it will be pointing towards the positive y direction. Therefore, this vector can be written as vector ay, which is equal to ay j cap. I can draw a vector along the diagonal from the origin to the point ax and ay. You can see that the three vectors ax, ay and a form a triangle. Therefore, by using triangle law of vector addition, I can write vector a is equal to ax I cap plus ay j cap. How do you write vectors in 3 dimensions? So in 3 dimensions, along with x and y axis, there will be a third axis which is mutually perpendicular to x and y. We call this axis as z axis. The unit vector along the z axis is designated as k cap. Let's consider a point in a three-dimensional space. Let its coordinate be ax, ay and az. Therefore, I can have a vector along x-axis axi cap. Then I can have a vector along y-axis ayj cap. And then I can have a vector parallel to z-axis which is azk cap. The resultant of these three vectors is drawn from the origin to the point ax, ay, az. Let this vector be a. This vector can be written as sum of the three vectors. So vector a is equal to ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap. The magnitude of a is given by root of ax square plus ay square plus az square. How do you draw the vectors between 2 points? So let's have one point as a, which is ax, ay, az. The other point as b, which is bx, by and bz. Let's draw a vector from the origin to the a, which is vector a. This vector will be ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap. Let's take another vector which is from origin to the point b. This will be bx I cap plus by j cap plus bz k cap. Let's draw the vector from a to b. Let me call this vector as vector ab. You can see that the three vectors, vector a, vector b and vector ab, they form three sides of a triangle. Therefore, by using triangle law, we may write vector b is equal to vector a plus vector ab. Therefore, vector ab will be equal to vector b minus vector a. Therefore, I can substitute the components of vector a and vector b. And therefore, ab will be equal to bx minus ax I cap plus by minus ay j cap plus bz minus az k cap. Let's take another exercise to understand the concepts. Two displacements are given as vector p is equal to 2.0 I cap minus 3.0 j cap plus 4.0 k cap meter, and q is equal to minus 6.0 I cap plus 3.0 j cap plus 2.0 k cap meter. Find the magnitude of 2p plus q. So it's a very straightforward exercise. You can try to solve it on your own, then come back and check the solution. Here goes the solution. Let vector f is equal to 2p plus q. F is equal to 2 in bracket components of p plus in bracket components of q. You open the first bracket by multiplying the three components by 2. Then you add the components with the similar coefficients. What will be the magnitude of vector f? It can be obtained by root of fx square plus fy square plus fz square, which is root of minus 2 square plus minus 3 square plus 10 square, which after solving will give me 10.6 meter. Here are some of the review problems. Try to brainstorm them. They will help you to understand the concepts better. Here are some activity problems I have given. Try to solve them on your own. Here are the solutions to the activity problem. I am giving a basic table of trigonometric ratios. It may help you to solve various problems. Thank you.